Is a Lakers-Nets trade coming? You might be surprised by that answer and who the prize will be. If you are a Los Angeles Lakers fan, the bubble playoffs now seem like an eternity ago. And it's only been made worse by the Celtics returning to the NBA Finals for the first time in a decade. The point here is that the Lakers bet big on an all-legend squad, and yet it completely blew up in their face and many expect trades to happen. But the biggest rumors seem to be coming around none other than Russell Westbrook, including multiple talks that he might be headed to the Nets. We'll show you how this could all go down. Number 5. State of Westbrook right now. Though trade talks are ongoing, there is a wrinkle here that can't be ignored, and that is that the Lakers have made it abundantly clear in recent weeks that they are heavily deliberating keeping Russell Westbrook on the roster moving into the 2022-2023 season. Whether or not you believe the Lakers depends on how much benefit of the doubt you're willing to give the front office, one that hasn't earned much of it in the last year. Regardless of the Lakers' posturing or leaks, there is a decent chance that Westbrook is on the roster next season, simply due to how difficult it will be to move his enormous $47 million contract. While there are ways and teams that it could make sense with, the logistics of it will be difficult. Even still, according to the latest reports from Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, the Lakers are still going to explore every possibility to trade Westbrook. And if you think about it, that makes sense solely because you need to see what's out there and available in terms of possibilities. The fact we're to a point where we don't know what the Lakers' intentions are is great for negotiating at least. If other teams genuinely believe the Lakers may hang on to Westbrook and not offer them the financial freedom that they desire, well then perhaps they're willing to lower their asking price and not include any or as many assets from the Lakers along with Westbrook. Everything is a tactic where the NBA is concerned. If the Lakers are earnestly considering bringing him back, then it raises a lot of questions. It immediately makes new coach Darvin Ham's first year significantly harder and puts a great impetus on the team's proper building and surrounding the big three with the right players. The Lakers front office certainly did not show an ability to do that last season. But could this new season and coaching squad be the difference? Well, let's look at the trade potentials that have been mentioned and then go from there. Number 4, Kyrie Irving. Now here's a trade rumor that has gotten people talking for better and for worse. This past week, a report surfaced from New York Daily News that the Brooklyn Nets are outright unwilling to offer superstar guard Kyrie Irving a long-term contract extension. Irving has a player option for next season, but some experts believe he won't pick up the $36.9 million option and pursue a longer-term deal. The news certainly perked the ears of Lakers fans and the NBA media. In the wake of the Kyrie Brooklyn development, Ben Steinar of Sports Illustrated tweeted out the hypothetical trade that many Lakers fans jumped to: get Kyrie for Westbrook. Steinar's trade idea comes almost a week after it was reported that the Nets GM Sean Marks and Lakers Vice President of Basketball Operations Rob Pelinka met in Chicago during the NBA Combine. So at the very least, there's at least a line of communication between Marks and Pelinka to discuss a potential deal. Now, it is an interesting proposal, but odds are Kevin Durant, the one who actively recruited Kyrie to join him in Brooklyn in the summer of 2019, is the one who says no. Plus, Durant voluntarily left Russell Westbrook and the Thunder in the summer of 2016 when KD signed with the Golden State Warriors. Now, considering Westbrook and Durant's past history, it seems improbable that KD would want to sign up for another ride on the Westbrook Express. If they didn't work together when Russ was in his prime, why would it work with the 33-year-old version of Westbrook? Plus, there's also the fact that the relationship between LeBron James and his former teammate in Kyrie Irving can be described as tenuous, because we don't know what to believe or who to believe in terms of whether they like each other or not. And given that the team chemistry is something that the Lakers don't have, and it's something they need to have in order to win, bringing in Kyrie Irving would be nothing short of throwing gasoline on a fire. Something that has burned many teams in the past, including the, again, NBA Finals playing Boston Celtics. And the last thing the Lakers need is more trouble. So let's look at other options. Number 3. John Wall. Now this is the obvious trade that was speculated during the NBA trade deadline. John Wall is stuck on a Rockets team, unwilling to play him, focused on building a future. It is a move that we have seen already, so why not go for the sequel? What type of player Wall is at this point in his career is anyone's guess. Considering his injury history and lack of playing time, Wall would come to the Lakers as a wild card. However, he wouldn't have the expectations or coverage that Westbrook demands. The last time Wall was healthy, he was a good, not great point guard who teams had to respect from the outside. In a limited role, Wall can help the Lakers and would help the team move on from a player that pushed the franchise in the wrong direction. He has a player option on the final year of his deal, an option he will almost assuredly use considering he wouldn't demand anything close to the salary on his contract if he became a free agent. For the Lakers, this is a final desperation move, one that gives the team a boost off the bench in Wall and gets Westbrook out of LA. Could it work? Sure. Will it work? Well, the Lakers execs thought the all-legends team would work, and it didn't. Again. So we'd have to just see if this trade would happen and then see if it works out. Number 2. Gordon Hayward. The Charlotte Hornets made a mistake paying Gordon Hayward like a star, and because of it, they lack a lot of flexibility to build around LaMelo Ball. LaMelo is a star in this league, and Charlotte needs to find a way to build a winning roster around the guard. Trading their problem in Hayward for the Lakers' problem in Westbrook brings in a new dynamic and gets them a year closer to major cap flexibility. Taking on Westbrook for a year and attempting to win with a Ball and Westbrook guard tandem would certainly make for must-watch basketball, even if the Hornets aren't a real playoff contender. For the Lakers, Gordon Hayward is a great secondary scorer who would fit in the Lakers system and culture. He is more than capable of knocking down the shots Westbrook couldn't with the room Davis or LeBron create. The Lakers need players who are going to help them spread the floor, and Hayward is a step in that direction while helping the team part ways with Westbrook. The only downside for the Lakers is what makes this appealing to the Hornets. You trade a one-year problem for a two-year problem. However, Father Time will eventually catch LeBron, leaving a limited window for the Lakers to chase a title. Hayward might be the best option the team has this offseason if they are going to part ways with Westbrook. Number 1. Where does this leave the Lakers? So regardless of whether it's Russell Westbrook or Anthony Davis, who has tons of trade rumors around him, the Lakers have trade rumors surrounding them like a swarm of bees. The irony is that this hive has been going on since the All-Star break, where the Lakers made no moves and looked downright pitiful by the end of the season. A lot of people think that the new coaching staff could change things up, but that's being a bit hopeful, if not naive. There's a lot of egos on the Lakers squad and a lot of players with injury issues. You have age and experience, but it's coming at a huge cost, hence why many want trades to be done. If none are done by the beginning of the season, expectations for the Lakers will be quite low indeed. So what do you think? What do you think of this potential set of moves that could get Russell Westbrook off of the Los Angeles Lakers and onto other squads that might take him in exchange for other potential key additions? Do you think any of these players might work on the Lakers? Could Kyrie and LeBron get along long enough to make things work and get a title together again? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.